Rounds of grilling of Rahul Gandhi by the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald case. Congress rallies around Raga, launches Satyagraha with protests across cities. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma slams Rahul Gandhi over Congress's protests over ED summon. Says Congress trying to intimidate the Enforcement Directorate. Is Manik Saha Tripura BJP's Chief Minister face for 2023 Assembly polls? News report says Saha has confirmed to being projected as Chief Minister candidate. BJP denies, says party doesn't name Chief Minister ahead of polls. Artist village chief kidnapped in Manipur's Churachandpur by unknown insurgent group. Rupees 2 crore ransom demanded for release of the duo. Row over BJP protest insulting Tipramotha chief and royal scion Pradyut Debarma. Sharp reactions pour in. Pradyut calls for peace. And Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma takes a dig at Congress as the BJP celebrates sweeping victory in Karbi Anglong. Congress has lost all 8 elections in the last 1 year, points out Sharma. Well, hello to all of you viewers and welcome to Evening Prime. I'm Aaron Lingdor. It's been a day of intense activity from New Delhi to Guwahati, with the Congress taking to the streets over Rahul Gandhi's summon by the Enforcement Directorate. We will bring you more details on the day's developments pertaining to the National Herald case. But right now, let's take a look and go to the big story from Tripura first. Well, has the Tripura BJP already decided on its Chief Minister's face for 2023? Is the party all set to project Manik Saha as the Chief Minister candidate for the Assembly polls next year? Well, a report in ANI quoted Saha as confirming that he will be the BJP's Chief Minister face for the 2023 Assembly elections. Well, this is a big statement considering the fact that the BJP as a party usually doesn't announce the Chief Minister's name ahead of polls. Manik Saha took charge of the Chief Minister's post last month following a surprise move by the BJP High Command, which replaced Biplab Deb. Now, what does the BJP has to say about it? Well, speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, party spokesperson Nabendu Bhattacharjee said that the BJP doesn't project any Chief Minister face. The Chief Ministerial face is decided by the leadership only after the polls, Bhattacharjee added.
ये एक नैरेटिव सेट किया जा रहा है कि अभी जो सीएम बने हैं वो कुछ महीने के लिए सीएम बने, अपोजिशन से भी है और बोला जा रहा है कि कुछ ही महीने के लिए बने, नेक्स्ट इलेक्शन में ही इज नॉट द फेस। आपका क्या रिएक्शन, आपके पार्टी का क्या? कौन मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा, कौन नहीं बनेगा, ये हमारे पार्टी के नेता और जो विधायक बन के आएंगे, चुन के आएंगे, वो लोग करेंगे। जो ये बात बोल रहे हैं उनके ऊपर निर्भर नहीं करता, ये पार्टी के अंदरूनी विषय है और उसके ऊपर पार्टी के विधायक दल के मत के अनुसार और हमारे जो सर्वोच्च नेतृत्व है उनके मत के अनुसार सिद्धांत लिया जाएगा। वो तो ऑलरेडी सीएम है ये। हाँ, नेक्स्ट इलेक्शन विद द ही इज नॉट द फेस, ऐसा एक नैरेटिव सेट किया है। जो नैरेटिव सेट कर रहे हैं उनको करने दीजिए, इससे हमको कोई लेना देना नहीं है।
Well, big story we're tracking this evening. Has the Tripura BJP already decided on its Chief Minister face for 2023? Is the party all set to project Manik Saha as the Chief Minister candidate for the Assembly polls next year? Well, a report in ANI quoted Saha as confirming that he will be the BJP's Chief Minister face for the 2023 Assembly elections. This is a big statement considering the fact that the BJP as a party usually doesn't announce the Chief Minister name ahead of the polls. Now we have reaction from the Tripura BJP. Let's listen to it again.
Is Manik Saha the next face?
नहीं, इसे फेस बोल के हम लोग कुछ नहीं करते हैं। वो इलेक्शन लड़ रहे हैं, अभी वो मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं तो बाई इलेक्शन में वो लड़ रहे हैं, अगले 9 महीने के बाद फिर से इलेक्शन होगा, तब का तब देखा जाएगा। नहीं, पार्टी की तरफ से, पार्टी उस तरह से सिद्धांत नहीं लेते, कहीं भी उस तरह से फेस क्रिएट नहीं करते हम लोग बोल देते हैं, लोगों को लगता है, इस तरह से चलता है, लेकिन पार्टी की तरफ से ये अनाउंसमेंट कभी नहीं होता ना। इसे क्लेम कहीं उन्होंने किया नहीं कि, लेकिन ये लोगों को लगता है, लोगों को जो लगता है वही मतलब लगता है कि, लेकिन सारे देश में कहीं भी इस तरह से प्रोजेक्शन नहीं होता। हमारे पार्टी में जो कुछ भी होता है वो निर्वाचित जो विधायक दल है वो तो करते ही हैं, साथ ही में हमारे जो सीनियर लीडर्स हैं वो मिल बैठ के ये सिद्धांत लेते हैं कौन चीफ मिनिस्टर बनेगा, कौन विधानसभा में हम नेतृत्व करेंगे, ये सब वही स्थिर करते हैं। ये सिर्फ हमारे राज्य में ही नहीं, सारे राज्यों में, सारे देश में ऐसा ही होता है।
Well, Bhattacharji's remark may have laid to rest the speculations for now, but has raised questions as to whether the BJP continues to face a leadership tussle ahead of the all-crucial assembly polls. Well, staying with Tripura, a video of the BJP supporters burning an effigy of Tipramotha chairman and the royal sign Pradyut Debarma has gone viral on social media, drawing sharp reactions. Now, as per inputs, the demonstration was held to protest the alleged attack on tribal supporters of the BJP by Tipramotha workers. Now, what has drawn focus to the demonstration is the fact that this is the first of its kind protest of this nature against Debarma, who is not only the Tipramotha chairman, but also the royal scion, or the Maharaja, as people call him. Well, as such, the protest is drawing condemnation with even from the Tipramotha's rival parties like the Congress and the CPIM. Meanwhile, Tipramotha chief Pradyut Debarma has urged his supporters to maintain calm and peace at any cost, while adding that there is a bigger conspiracy going on. Well, in a statement put up on social media, Pradyut Debarma said, and I quote, "I am aware of the cowardly act of a few who have burned my effigies, and I appeal to all Tiprasas and the members of Tipramotha and every supporter and well-wisher to maintain peace and restraint." Well, this is a conspiracy of a few divisive elements to provoke us to become them. But we must remember that our cause and our unity is bigger than me and any attack on me or my family. I sincerely appeal to each one of you to maintain peace and not react to such provocations by the divisive elements, unquote. Now, meanwhile, as per sources, Tripura Chief Minister Manik Saha called Debarma to express regret over the incident and said that such acts will not be tolerated. Meanwhile, Tripura Pradesh Congress Chief Birajit Sinha lashed out at the BJP over the incident, stating that the party has taken things to a new low in Tripura.
ये बहुत खराबी कल्चर है बीजेपी ने त्रिपुरा में आमदनी किया है, ये हम लोग उसको टॉलरेट नहीं कर सकूंगा। ये अवधूत किशोर ये माथा का चेयरमैन है एक रीजनल पार्टी का, वो त्रिपुरा का भी रॉयल फैमिली का ये है, मेंबर है, राजा है, उनका तस्वीर उसको पुतला को ऐसे व्यवहार करना, लाठी मारना पूरा वायरल हो गया। रेस्पेक्टेबल आदमी है, वो समाज के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, मेनली ट्राइबल के लिए बहुत काम कर रहे हैं, नॉन ट्राइबल लिए ही काम करता है, ये तो ठीक नहीं, बहुत खराब हो गया।
And on to another big story we're tracking. The security forces have intensified their search and rescue operations in Manipur's Churachandpur district following the abduction of a village chief and another individual suspected rebels. Now, as per the latest inputs coming in, the vehicle in which both the individuals were abducted has been found abandoned at a forest near Kolhen village under Henglep subdivision. It may be mentioned here that the vehicle belongs to Kamwan Pao, who has also been abducted. Well, this is the big development. Security forces have intensified their search and rescue operations in Manipur's Churachandpur district following the abduction of a village chief and another individual suspected rebels. Now, as per the latest inputs coming in, the vehicle in which both the individuals were abducted has been found at a forest near Kolen village under Henglep subdivision. It may be mentioned here that the vehicle belongs to Kam Muan Pao, who has been abducted. Now, meanwhile, we have first reactions coming in from the Zomi Chiefs Association on the kidnapping incident. Speaking exclusively to our Churachandpur correspondent MK Henry, ZCA President T. Pumzadao appealed to the abductors to safely release both the victims on humanitarian grounds.
Yeah, I like to appeal the responsible person to kindly release Kamon Pawin Gohantang on humanitarian ground. In the name of the Michi Association, I request you, please kindly do and kindly release. That's my request.
Well, it may be mentioned that the abductors have sought a ransom of rupees 2 crore for releasing the hostages. The two victims have been identified as Kam Wan Pao, who is the founder of Zomi Fin's music band and also the chief of MT Jeltam village. The other victim has been identified as Gokhan Thang from Khajang in Churachandpur. The duo was kidnapped on Saturday night by the unidentified insurgent groups. And to shed more light on the entire development, I am joined by MK Henry from Churachandpur, who brought us this latest development. Henry, if you can hear me, the abandoned vehicle has been found. Give us a little bit of background to the lead up. The incident happened on Saturday, and we found the vehicle today. Give us details.
Yeah, actually, the incident happened on Saturday from around 8 p.m. And when the police, since that day, since the time the incident occurred, the police have been carrying out a hunt for the abductors also. Now, today, during their search operation, they happened to come across the abandoned Bolero car at this Colhan village area. So, after they found the vehicles, they tried to start the engine and by using the spare key of the vehicles. However, that could not be started. When they consult these mechanics, they said that they have to try again by checking up all the machineries. Only then it will be possible. And another Activa which has been used by the abductors is lying at empty Geltam area. In a similar condition. So this is the thing. And now I have spoken also a while ago to the OC of Singat. The OC told us that the police have been divided into several groups, and the groups of police have carried out raids to certain suspected areas. However, so far they could not succeed in making arrest of the abductors.
And Henry, let me drift a little bit from the development. If you can paint us a picture of how the family is reacting to the entire incident with 2 crore ransom being demanded from them. Tell us a little bit about that.
The wife of the abducted person, that is Kamwan Pao, who was a lead guitarist also, have told us that she was looking for borrowing some money to some big money lenders this morning. However, she tried 2-3 times with the well-off money lenders in this locality, but all her attempts were futile. She could not make any achievement. And then again, later in the evening, I have approached the wife of Kamwan Pao as to whether she would be willing to make an appeal or whatever. However, she is feeling with fear psychosis, and she said that nothing should be done because if we leak out the matter to the press or to any person or the police, then her husband will be killed. That is her impression. So, however, in spite of this, the matter has been leaked out, and the matter has been, becoming viral in various social medias.
Exactly. So that was MK Henry that brought us the story, the latest development from Churachandpur. Search and rescue operations underway with family is still in distress. Thank you for your inputs. And we take a look now at the big national focus we've been tracking since morning. It has been a day of intense drama with Congress leader Rahul Gandhi grilled by the Enforcement Directorate twice. First, for close to 3 hours in connection with the National Herald case, even as Congress leaders and supporters taking to the streets as part of their satyagraha against the ED summon of Gandhi. Well, after a break, ED began the second round of quizzing of Gandhi, who had gone to meet party president Sonia Gandhi at the Gangaram Hospital during the lunch break. Rahul Gandhi, who marched to the ED office earlier in the day, accompanied by hundreds of Congress leaders, including his sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Randeep Surjewala, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, among others, was by a three-member team of the ED. Now, the Enforcement Directorate's grilling of the former Congress president took place amid the satyagraha launched by party workers and leaders in protest against the ED summon in the National Herald case. And meanwhile, Congress leaders have accused the BJP of being vindictive and misusing the ED.
सरकार के कर्मचारियों की तनख्वाह देना, अगर एक अखबार के पत्रकारों की तनख्वाह देना अपराध है तो हम ये अपराध बार बार करेंगे। अगर बिजली का बिल देना अपराध है अखबार का, अगर अखबार का हाउस टैक्स देना अपराध है तो ये अपराध बार बार करेंगे। मोदी सरकार, कायर मोदी सरकार हमें गिरफ्तार करे, हमें आजीवन कारावास दे, पर अंग्रेज भी हारा था, मोदी भी हारेगा। सरकार के कर्मचारी
Now, meanwhile, the Congress nationwide satyagraha launched against the ED summon of Rahul Gandhi has drawn sharp condemnation from the BJP. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma slammed the Congress for its so-called satyagraha against the Enforcement Directorate summon. The Assam Chief Minister said that the protests are a part of the Congress's tactics to intimidate the Enforcement Department. Sharma added that agencies cannot be intimidated.
देखिए, अगर कोई व्यक्ति को खास करके अगर वो प्रधानमंत्री हो, मुख्यमंत्री हो या सांसद हो या पॉलिटिकली रेस्पॉन्सिबल व्यक्ति हो, सब लोगों का ये दायित्व बनता है कि देश का कानून को कैसे हम रेस्पेक्ट करता हूं और कैसे कानून को हम लोग रीएस्टैब्लिश और हम कानून को शक्ति देता हूं। आज राहुल गांधी ये देश का एक सांसद है। जब ईडी ने उनको बुलाया तो ईडी का सामने उनको जाना चाहिए चुपचाप, और जो भी अपना पक्ष है ये पक्ष को सामने ईडी का अधिकारियों का सामने रखना चाहिए, और फिर लॉ जो करेगा, लॉ विल टेक इट्स ओन कोर्स। और भारत का लॉ इतना स्ट्रांग है कि अगर आप इनोसेंट है आपका कभी भी पनिशमेंट नहीं होगा। लेकिन जब आप एक सांसद हो, ईडी ने आपको बुलाया है, आप एकदम नामांकन फिलअप करने का समय जैसे आप लोगों को, समर्थकों को लेके जाते हैं, अगर ऐसे आप ईडी ऑफिस में जाते हैं, साथ में आप कोई राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री को लेके जाते हैं, सांसद को लेके जाते हैं, मतलब क्या है, आप ईडी को डरवाना चाहते हैं कि ईडी आपका पॉपुलैरिटी से, सो कॉल्ड पॉपुलैरिटी से डर जाए और ईडी आपका खिलाफ कार्यवाही ना करे। तो ये आज राहुल गांधी ने जो तमाशा दिखाया, उसी में उन्होंने प्रूफ कर दिया कि मैंने कुछ गलती किया हूं। अगर वो गलती नहीं किया था तो चुपचाप जाता था, आराम से जाता था और बाहर आके मीडिया को इंटरव्यू दे देता था, भाई हमको ये पूछताछ किया, हमने ये आंसर दिया। लेकिन आप देश भर में प्रोसेशन निकालिए, ईडी का सामने एकदम फौज लेके जाइए। अरे भाई, भारत बदल चुका है, अभी आपसे कोई नहीं डरने वाला है।
अरेस्ट हो सकता है क्या?
देखिए, मैं इतना जानता हूं कि अभी ईडी राहुल गांधी से नहीं डरेगा, और ना हमसे भी डरना चाहिए, किसी से डरना नहीं चाहिए। भारत बदल चुका है। अगर आपको कोई एजेंसी बुलाया है, आप एकदम लाइक ए लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन आप जाइए। ऐसे प्रोसेशन करने का मतलब है जरूर दाल में कुछ काला है, नहीं तो आप क्यों ऐसा करेगा। तो इसीलिए आज राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी ने जो तमाशा किया, इसको मैंने कंडेम ही नहीं करता हूं, साथ में मैं यही भी बोलना चाहता हूं, देखिए अभी आप लोगों को कोई नहीं डरेगा। एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी अपना काम करेगा, और अगर आप गुनाहगार है तो आपका पनिशमेंट होगा। हाँ, अगर आप इनोसेंट है, आपका कुछ नहीं होगा। ये आज नया भारत का यही नया रूल है।
And on similar lines, Union Minister Smriti Irani slammed the protest march by the Congress against the ED summons to Rahul Gandhi in the National Herald money laundering case. Addressing a press conference, Irani alleged that the Congress leaders have taken to the streets to pressurize an investigating agency openly as their corruption has been exposed. Now, the Union Minister further said that nobody, including the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, is above the law.
एजेंसी के देश की राजधानी में भ्रष्टाचार के समर्थन में कांग्रेस पार्टी आज मैदान में उतरी है। एक इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी पर दबाव डालने के लिए कांग्रेस शासित राज्यों के वरिष्ठ नेताओं को विशेष आमंत्रित किया गया है। इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसी के ऊपर दबाव डालना खुलेआम कांग्रेस की इस रणनीति को अब क्या नाम देंगे?
And meanwhile, as part of the nationwide Satyagraha, the Congress leaders and workers also staged a protest in Guwahati. These are visuals from outside the Rajiv Bhavan in Guwahati, where scores of party workers and leaders gathered to protest against the ED summon to Rahul Gandhi. Congress leaders alleged that party workers were stopped from marching towards the ED office.
देखिए, जो केस में ईडी ने आज राहुल गांधी जी को बुलाया है, इस केस में यही बीजेपी सरकार ने 2015 में राहुल गांधी को क्लीन चिट दिया था, और जो मामला उन लोग ने दिखाया है, जो नेशनल हेराल्ड पेपर, ये न्यूज़पेपर जब बंद होने का समय आ गया, तब ऑल इंडिया कांग्रेस कमेटी ने 90 करोड़ रुपया हम लोग एक इंस्टॉलमेंट के हिसाब से 100 इंस्टॉलमेंट में हम लोग ने नेशनल हेराल्ड को पुनर्जीवित करने के लिए दिया था। और इसका 65 करोड़, ये सबको मालूम है, देश में सबको मालूम है, जो 65 करोड़ रुपया VRS में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल देने में और बिल्डिंग का भाड़ा देने में खर्चा किया। तो आज इलेक्शन कमीशन का भी कोई आपत्ति नहीं है। पार्टी का पैसा पार्टी ने कहाँ खर्चा किया वो इलेक्शन कमीशन को मालूम है, और बीजेपी ने 15 में क्लीन चिट दिया।
Now, meanwhile, in Itanagar, the Arunachal Pradesh Congress Committee, along with the National Youth Congress, staged a protest rally starting from the APCC office till the tennis court. Now, meanwhile, the protesters are staging a sit-in satyagraha.
In a democratic country, everybody has a right to do their express their views, their sentiments, and do this protest, dharnas, and rallies. It is given by the Constitution of India. Why they should be denied or deprived? That is not good, because what the Delhi government is doing, they have not allowed the Congress party to go to the protest rally and dharna. That is not good.
Now, meanwhile, Congress leaders and workers in Tripura also staged a protest against Rahul Gandhi's ED summon. Tripura Pradesh Congress President Birajit Sinha and the senior party leader Sudeep Roy Barman led the protest.
जवाहरलाल नेहरू, पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने देश स्वाधीनता पहले एक नेशनल हेराल्ड बनाया। उसमें सिर्फ डॉक्टर पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू नहीं है, सरदार पटेल भी था, सभी था। वो देश के लिए बहुत काम किया। वो तो 1915 में उसको बैन किया था ब्रिटिश सरकार ने। तो उसमें कोई करप्शन नहीं है, कुछ नहीं। इंटेंशनली सोनिया जी, राहुल जी को ईडी ने नोटिस किया है, उसको कोई मीनिंग नहीं है। पावर को मिसयूज कर रहा है, देशवासी उसको नहीं मानेगा। देशवासी अभी प्रोटेस्ट कर गया।
Ever since the Modi government was in power for the last 8 years, they have stepped to such a low politics that the opposition leaders, they are either being booked in several false cases under false allegations, be it by the CBI or by the ED enforcement department, with an intention to send a wrong signal across the nation.
Now, meanwhile, Congress leaders in Manipur also took to the streets in protest against the Enforcement Directorate interrogation of Rahul Gandhi. Several leaders of the Manipur Congress were detained by the police. And with that, we'll take a very short break. We've got a lot more lined up when we return. Stay with us.
The most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
A university is much more than just a place to get your education. It not only helps you build your career, but also your personality and mindset. At Assam Royal Global University, you will get the most suitable environment to gain knowledge and also grow as a person. The university has the best infrastructure with all the required facilities and best quality equipment for any kind of educational need.
সুগন্ধ ৰং আৰু সোৱাদ খাতি এভৰিডে জিভাত দিয়ে আসল জুতি এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ 100% টেষ্ট এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ বেষ্ট
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
সুগন্ধ ৰং আৰু সোৱাদ খাতি এভৰিডে জিভাত দিয়ে আসল জুতি এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ 100% টেষ্ট এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ বেষ্ট
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ সিমেন্ট সূৰ্যা সিমেন্ট অটুট ঘৰ অটুট অসম आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाच गाओ मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying on. Now, top Manipur insurgent leader Irom Ibotombi Meitei has finally returned to the mainstream. The rebel leader embraced the path of peace as he met Chief Minister N. Biren Singh at an event who termed it as a homecoming. 56-year-old Ibotombi, who was the PLA's Deputy Assistant Secretary, was associated with the rebel group since 1994 to 1995. While briefing the media, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh said that Ibotombi chose to return to the mainstream after trusting the changes brought about by the centre and his government. Well, besides, N. Biren Singh also appealed other rebels to come back and join the mainstream for the sake of permanent peace. Well, meanwhile, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh assured that his government will make all the arrangements to ensure security and rehabilitation of the surrendered rebels. Well, earlier on June the 1st, 14 cadres of the United Tribal Liberation Army, or the UTLA, had laid down arms before Chief Minister N. Biren Singh.
Group United Tribal Liberation Front UTLA Army Hairiba Dugi Moitara Mari Kulai Galoinana Manipur Sarkar Sangjarakhe Adu Galoinana Moigi rehabilitation government ki schemes ki matungina program ki matungina paikhat pa yaba paikhat khare aduga moi hujik akhoi gi surrender 1st June June gi tarik 1 da tokiba adugi akhoi mokhoi hujik surrender camp da rehabilitation camp da training makhan makha gi khoi government ki scheme matungina torga leiri adu da nataba tai khara gi surrender towi haiba haining daba ekwe asomdagi pau piraga police na sanarafna praga informally faraga informally understanding the toba khara not less than 10-20 andaki ekwe anova BJP 2 government 2 o sila kanda ekwe madugi fange.
And shifting focus now, day after securing a historic win in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls, the BJP leader and incumbent CEM Tuliram Ronghang is now a man focused on delivering on poll promises. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Live Chief of Bureau Arindam Das in Difu, Ronghang said that all-round development with focus on road connectivity and education will be the top priority of the new council. On being asked as to who will be the next CEM and the date and schedule of the swearing-in and the Vijay Divas, Ronghang said that the party high command will take the decision.
We have with us the incumbent CEM of Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council, Mr. Tuliram Ronghang. Tuliram ji, আপনালোকৰ গ্র্যান্ড ভিক্টরি হৈছে 26টা জিকিছে তো আপুনি কাক এট্রিবিউট কৰিব আৰু কিহক এট্রিবিউট কৰিব এই ভিক্টরিৰ কাৰণে?
Thank you, Northeast Live, for giving this opportunity. On behalf of Team Karbi Anglong, I thanks to people of Karbi Anglong. আমি তেখেত কাৰ্বি আংলং ৰাইজক মই ধন্যবাদ দিছোঁ তেখেতসকলক আমাক যিটো আহিল বাটাল ব্লেচিং দিয়াৰ কাৰণে।
তো আপোনালোকৰ এতিয়া মেইন ফোকাস কি হ'ব?
Main focus, we will do it all-round development in Karbi Anglong, especially roads, connectivities, and educations, and all-round development we will do it, and we will discuss and my colleagues.
দেখা গৈছে যে বিজেপি বহুত এগ্ৰেসিভলি কেম্পেইনিং কৰিছিল, চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ নিজে স্পেয়াৰ হেড কৰিছিল কেম্পেইন, তেওঁ 19খন ৰেলী এটেন্ড কৰিছে 4 দিনৰ ভিতৰত। তো বিজেপি বহুত প্ৰেষ্টিজ ফাইট হিচাপে লৈছিল নেকি এইখন?
ইমান হোৱা নাই, একো হোৱা নাই, এতিয়ালৈকে একো ফাইট মই দেখাই নাই। চবে মানে ৰাইজে ভোট দিবলৈ আহিছে, চবে আহিছে, ওলাই আহিছে, চবে মানে বিজেপি ভোট দিবলৈ চবে সাজু হৈ আছে, সিদ্ধান্ত লোৱা হৈ গ'লে পাব্লিকে অলৰেডি এতিয়া সিদ্ধান্ত লোৱা হৈ গ'লে।
আচ্ছা, ওথ টেকিং কেতিয়া হ'ব আৰু ইএম সিলেকশ্যন কেতিয়া হ'ব?
এইবিলাকতো মই নাজানো, এইটো হাইকমাণ্ড যি হ'ব এইটো হাইকমাণ্ড ডিচিশ্যন হ'ব। কাৰণ হাইকমাণ্ড ডিচিশ্যন ইজ দ্য ফাইনেল ডিচিশ্যন, মোৰ ফালৰ পৰা একো ডিচিশ্যন দিব নোৱাৰে তেতিয়া।
আচ্ছা, বিজেপি ষ্টেট এক্সিকিউটিভ হ'ব গৈ আছে কাইলৈৰ পৰা দুদিনীয়া, তো কি কি এজেণ্ডা থাকিব, কোন কোন আহিব এই ষ্টেট এক্সিকিউটিভত?
যিমানখিনি ষ্টেট বিজেপি মেম্বাৰ্ছ আছে তেখেতসকলৰ আহিব, চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰৰ পৰা MP MLA সকলো আহিব, আৰু যিমান মেম্বাৰ্ছ আছে তেওঁলোকৰ আহিব।
চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ কেতিয়া আহিব, তেওঁ থাকাকে আহিবনে?
কালি আহিব বুলি আমি মেছেজ পাইছোঁ, কেতিয়া আহিব এতিয়ালৈকে আমি ফাইনেল হোৱা পিছত আপোনালোকে গম পাই যাব।
আচ্ছা, লাষ্টলি আপোনালোকে বিজয় দিৱসটো কেতিয়া পালন কৰিব, কিমান মানুহ সমাগম হ'ব?
এতিয়ালৈকে আলোচনা কৰা নাই, আমি পিছত আপোনালোকক মই জনাই দিম।
Thank you very much. That was the incumbent CEM of Karbi Autonomous Council, Tuliram Ronghang, speaking exclusively to Northeast Live. Reporting from the food, this is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
Now, meanwhile, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma has termed the victory in Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls as an unprecedented mandate, which has given the BJP a bigger responsibility to live up to people's expectations. Well, Chief Minister Sharma also stated that after this win in the urban body and the GMC polls, the huge victory in KAAC was a true affirmation of the people's trust on the BJP's inclusive and developmental policies. Significantly, Chief Minister Sharma also took a dig at the Congress on the occasion, stating that Assam was on its way to becoming Congress Mukt. He also pointed out that after drawing blank in the Rajya Sabha and the Guwahati municipal polls, the party has now failed to open its account in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council as well. Well, the top BJP leader and the Assam Chief Minister also noted that the Congress had now lost all the 8 elections held in the past 1 year in Assam. Chief Minister Sharma, however, cautioned party leaders against taking the Congress lightly. Significantly, Chief Minister Sharma highlighted that the BJP has secured 2.25 lakh votes in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls against the mere 60,000 votes secured by the Congress. The Aam Aadmi Party, meanwhile, could secure only 15,000 votes. The Assam Chief Minister added that such a massive mandate given by the people has increased the responsibilities of the government and the council.
বিজেপি দলে 2,20,000 ভোট লাভ কৰিছে। তাৰ বিপৰীতে কংগ্ৰেছ দলে মাত্ৰ 60,000 ভোট লাভ কৰিছে। আৰু নতুন যিবিলাক পাৰ্টি ওলাইছে, আপে কক 15,000 ভোট, আমাৰ 2,20,000, তেওঁলোকৰ 15,000 ভোট। APHSLC বুলি যিটো পাৰ্টি আছিলে, তেওঁলোকে 50-60,000 ভোট পাইছে। কংগ্ৰেছে 60,000 পাইছে। মোৰ লগত একজেক্ট তালিকাখন আছে, মই আপোনালোকক পঢ়িয়ে দিছোঁ কোনে কিমান পাইছে। গতিকে একচুৱেলি 26টা জিকাটোৱে ডাঙৰ কথা নহয়, যি ধৰণে ভোটত জিকিছে। আপোনালোকে যদি চাব খোজে যে বিজেপি দলে ভোট পাইছে 2,25,999টা, কংগ্ৰেছে ভোট পাইছে 60,000, তাৰমানে 1/4 এক প্ৰকাৰ। আপে ভোট পাইছে মাত্ৰ 15,000টা, আৰু যিটো আমাৰ APHSLC তেওঁলোকৰ ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট হিচাপে উঠিছে কাৰণে ডাইৰেক্ট ধৰিব নোৱাৰি, কিন্তু টোটেল ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেণ্টে ভোট পাইছে 90,000। তাৰ ভিতৰত লিডিং ভোটটো পাইছে অল পাৰ্টি হিলছ লিডাৰ কনভেনশ্যন। ইয়াৰ ফালৰ পৰা এটা কথাই বুজিব পাৰি যে 26টা চিটতটো জিকিম বুলি আমি জানিছিলোৱে। যোৱাবাৰ আমি জিকিছিলোঁ 1টা চিট 100টা ভোটত, 60টা ভোটত, 150টা ভোটত, 200টা ভোটত। এইবাৰ জিকাৰ মাৰ্জিনবোৰ 10,000, 11,000, 12,000। আৰু এখন স্বায়ত্তশাসিত পৰিষদত এনেকে একচাটে বুলি যিটো কওঁ, ওৱান চাইডেড ভোট হোৱাটো আৰু বিজেপি দলক সকলোৱে মৰমেৰে আদৰি লোৱাটো ভাল লাগিছে, কিন্তু লগত ভয়ো লাগিছে যে মানুহৰ ইমান আশা আকাংক্ষাক আমি পূৰণ কৰিব পাৰিম নে নোৱাৰিম।
And meanwhile, Chief Minister Sharma also indicated that Tuliram Ronghang will be re-elected as the CEM of Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council. He cautioned that while the decisive verdict had ensured that there is no opposition, the BJP has to guard itself against complacency, which may give rise to a new opposition.
স্বাভাৱিকভাৱে তুলিৰাম ৰংহাঙৰ নেতৃত্বত ইমান ডাঙৰ এটা বিজয়ী হৈছে, গতিকে কাক CM পাতিব, এইটো নিৰ্বাচিত প্ৰতিনিধিসকলে সিদ্ধান্ত ল'ব। কিন্তু স্বাভাৱিকভাৱে তুলিৰাম ৰংহাঙৰ নেতৃত্বত এটা চমকপ্ৰদ সাফল্য বিজেপিয়ে পাইছে, ভাবিব নোৱাৰা ধৰণে পাইছে। গতিকে নিশ্চয় তেখেতৰ যিটো নেতৃত্ব, সেই নেতৃত্ব কাৰ্বি ৰাইজে আদৰি লৈছে বুলি আমি ক'ব লাগিব।
We shift focus to Mizoram now, where the African swine fever menace is lingering in the hill state, leading to fresh pig deaths. Close to 40 pig deaths were reported yesterday, while another dozen pigs were culled by officials to prevent further spread of the disease. Now, close to 5,000 pigs have died since March in Mizoram due to the African swine fever. Currently, 68 villages spread across 9 districts of the state are affected by the African swine fever. Now, what is also concerning is the fact that 641 pigs have died due to suspected ASF infection in 36 villages yet to be declared as ASF-infested areas. Now, the ASF outbreak, which began on March the 21st, 2020, was declared as contained by early this year before killing at least 33,417, estimated to cost rupees 60.82 crores. Video of an endangered great Indian hornbill being tortured and killed has sparked public outrage since the video has gone viral on social media. Sheer inhumanity was in clear display as the bird was hit with a wooden stick and then strangulated to death by stamping its neck. While video of an endangered great Indian hornbill being tortured and killed has sparked public outrage since the video has gone viral on social media. While sheer inhumanity was in clear display as the bird was hit with a wooden stick and then strangulated to death by stamping its neck. Well, meanwhile, the Nagaland Wildlife Department has taken strong exception of the inhuman act following which the police have arrested all those involved in the incident that took place in Bhandari subdivision under Wokha district. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, Warden Dimapur Tokaho Kimini informed that the 3 main accused persons have been identified, booked, and has been brought to Wokha. Well, he informed the department will be taking up the case legally, and the department has also recovered the weapon and remaining body parts of the great Indian hornbill.
Hi, Mr. Kinimi. This is Sarah Konyak from Northeast Life. Well, a video of an endangered great Indian hornbill being tortured is being widely circulated in the social media, reportedly from Wokha district. So, has the department initiated any action in this case?
Yes, actually, as soon as this video had surfaced, we have been investigating as to who the perpetrators were and as to the whereabouts and locations. And we had identified those places from the early stages itself. But to actually bring the accused, to relate the accused with the video was our main aim, to present this case legally.
Right.
Because the video itself was quite, vague as to identities of the people.
Right.
We had received information as to who had done it, who has committed the crime, but to exactly put those people in relation to the video was a task for us. So it had taken some time, but as of today, we have caught all the culprits and all of them being brought to Wokha because we have enough evidence against them now. The weapon which was used has been seized, and then all the remaining parts of the unfortunate hornbill also has been recovered. So that would be used as evidence against the accused.
Right. Mr. Kinimi, how many accused persons have been arrested so far? And,
so far, we have caught 3 of them. The main people who we thought were the key players in this episode. But the rest of the people are mainly onlookers, and including children and all that. So we have caught the hunter, and then the owner of the residence where the bird had been tortured. He has also been caught, and then the actual person who has been seen hitting the bird and standing, putting his leg against the neck of the bird.
Right.
So these three are the main target was these three people, and we have apprehended all of them.
Right. Thank you so much for speaking to Northeast Live.
And moving on now, producers of Nepali film Kabaddi 4, Shushma Gurung and Anmol Gurung, have issued an apology to the Buddhist communities in Sikkim over the recent controversy where a Buddhist monk was slapped in Kathmandu. Well, the controversy began after lead actress of the movie, Meruna Mangar, slapped the monk at the movie premiere. Well, since then, Buddhist communities from Nepal, Sikkim, and even Darjeeling Hills have opposed the film, calling for a ban on the release of Kabaddi 4 in Nepal as well as in Sikkim. The producers, in their apology, affirmed on justice for monk Phurba Lama and at the same time insisted for the smooth premiere of the film in Sikkim on June the 17th.
सबसे पहले तो हम शुरुआत करना चाहते हैं एक माफ़ी से, सॉरी। बहुत ही श्रद्धा और दिल से हम लोग सॉरी कह रहे हैं आप लोग को, स्पेशली किसको, जो व्यक्ति बौद्ध धर्म को मानते हैं, जो व्यक्ति बौद्ध फिलॉसफी को मानते हैं और जो बुद्धिस्ट है और जो लामा लोग हैं, लामा गुरुजी है, उन सबको हम तहे दिल से माफ़ी मांगते हैं, क्योंकि मिरुना मगर जी और फुरबा लामा जी के बीच में जो एक घटना हुआ था नेपाल में कुछ हफ्ते पहले, उसकी वजह से और कुछ कमेंट्स इधर उधर होने की वजह से जो आप लोग को सेंटिमेंट्स में हर्ट हुआ है, उसके लिए हम लोग तहे दिल से माफ़ी मांगते हैं। विद अ सेंस ऑफ ग्रैटिट्यूड एंड विद अ सेंस ऑफ अपॉलॉजी हम लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि जो भी एक नैरेटिव बिल्ड हुआ है यहाँ पे, नैरेटिव ये है कि बॉयकॉट कबड्डी 4 बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन नैरेटिव होना चाहिए था जस्टिस फॉर फुरबा लामा। ये जस्टिस फॉर फुरबा लामा के साथ हम लोग भी खड़े हैं। हम लोग भी चाहते हैं कि फुरबा लामा जी को जस्टिस हो, हम लोग चाहते हैं कि मिरुना मंगर को जस्टिस हो, और हम लोग सभी लामा लोग से भी यही निवेदन कर रहे हैं, देखिए सर जी, गुरु जी, आपको ऊपर आपका सेंटिमेंट पर हर्ट हुआ है और इसलिए हम लोग ने यहाँ खदा में भी ला के हम लोग ने आपके पब्लिकली आपको मैंने सॉरी बोला है, और हम चाहते हैं कि आप हमको हम सबको फॉरगिव करें और इस पीसफुल स्क्रीनिंग होने दें। और ये भी चाहते हैं कि अगर आपको किसी भी एंगल से लगता है कि ये फिल्म बौद्ध धर्म के अगेंस्ट है, तो हम प्रोड्यूसर्स बोल रहे हैं कि आप फिल्म को देखना चाहते हैं तो हम आपके लिए गैंगटॉक में एक स्पेशल स्क्रीनिंग रखना चाहते हैं। हम आपको दिखाएंगे फिल्म, देखिए आप। अगर आपको लगता है कि वहाँ पे कुछ बौद्ध धर्म के खिलाफ है तो आप हमको बोल सकते हैं।
An incident of broad daylight robbery has been reported from the Narangi area in Guwahati city. As per inputs, two motorcycle-borne miscreants snatched away a bag of rupees 1.5 lakh in cash from an individual identified as Dhiren Borowa. Well, meanwhile, police have begun probe into the matter.
দোকানী হোৱা স্পটতে পাইছোহি, পাওঁতে মানে মইতো ধৰিব পৰা নাই। ফটকৈ তেওঁ বেগটো কাঢ়ি দৌৰ মাৰিছে। মই গাড়ী নম্বৰ নোট কৰিব নোৱাৰিলোঁ। ল'ৰাকেইটা দেখিলোঁ, স্বাস্থ্যৱান ল'ৰা দুটা ওখ পাখ শকতাবত, কিন্তু মই অকণমান 1 ছেকেণ্ড চান্স পাম গাড়ীৰ পৰা নামিব পৰা হেঁতেন মই তাত ধৰি ল'লোঁ হয়। একদম ৰেল লাইনৰ পইণ্টতে হৈছে, য'ত দোকানবোৰ আছে, ফল মূলৰ বজাৰবোৰ আছে, তাত মই স্পটতে আছোঁ। মোৰ দুখ লাগিছে, মই ধৰিব নোৱাৰিলোঁ কাৰণে। এইটো বুট হয় পালচাৰ বাইক, খুব হাই স্পীডত আহিছে। এজনে চলাই আছে, মানে মুভিঙতে আছে, তাৰ মাজতে মানুহজনৰ পৰা কাঢ়িছে। তেখেতে কোৱা মতে 1.5 লাখ টকা বেংকৰ পৰা উলিয়াই আনিছে, নাৰেংগী ইউকো বেংকৰ পৰা। তেওঁ কোৱা মতে ইউকো বেংকৰ পৰা পইচাটো উলিয়াই আহিছে, তেওঁক তাৰ পৰাই বিচাৰ কৰি আহিছে তাৰমানে।
Now, Buddhist devotees and people in the Mongolian capital give a rousing welcome to the Indian delegation led by Union Law and Justice Minister Kiren Rijiju as they arrived in the country with the holy relics of Lord Buddha today. Now, the 4 holy relics, known as the Kapilavastu relics, were brought into 2 special bulletproof caskets on board an Indian Air Force aircraft. Now, the holy relics will be displayed at the Bat Sagan Temple in Gandan Tek Shenling Monastery Complex in Ulaanbaatar for 11 days. Now, they were under the care of the National Museum in New Delhi, and during the 11-day visit to Mongolia, the relics will be accorded the status of a quote-unquote state guest. Now, the holy relics of Lord Buddha, which are returning to Mongolia after 29 years, are considered one of the most sacred relics of Buddhism. In 2015, the holy relics were placed under the AA category of antiquities and art treasures, which should not be ordinarily taken out of the country for exhibition, considering their delicate nature. However, upon the request of the Mongolian government, the Indian government has made a special exception and permitted the exposition of the holy relics in Mongolia. Well, the display of sacred Kapila Vastu relics at Ganden Tekching Monastery is called a historic milestone in Indian-Mongolia relations and will further boost cultural and spiritual relations between the two countries.
हमारे साथ में बुद्ध के अवशेषों का साथ में यहाँ आना हुआ, तो उसकी वजह से जो यहाँ के लोगों के मन में भारत के प्रति जो आस्था है, जो इज्जत है, वो एक अलग स्तर पर है। बुद्ध का अवशेषों का यहाँ लाना बुद्ध पूर्णिमा के दिन पर और 11 दिन यहाँ रखेंगे, उसमें यहाँ सभी श्रद्धालुओं को यहाँ आके इसका दर्शन करने का मौका मिलेगा। इस दृष्टि से भी बहुत खास है।
And actor Shakti Kapoor's son, Siddhant Kapoor, has landed in a drugs controversy after being detained by the Bengaluru police for allegedly using drugs at a party in the city yesterday. As per sources acting on a tip-off, the police raided a 5-star hotel on MG Road in Bengaluru, where the party was hosted. Well, meanwhile, 35 guests present at the party were taken into custody by the police and were subjected to a medical test. Well, the police sent the samples of the guests suspected of taking drugs, out of which 6 returned positive, which included Siddhant Kapoor's sample. Besides, the police said it was unclear if they took drugs and came to the party or if they used them at the hotel. Let's take a look now at some international updates. In response to the mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, that left 21 people dead at Robb Elementary School, a bipartisan group of 20 senators, led by Senators Chris Murphy from the Democratic Connecticut and John Cornyn from the Republican Texas, on Sunday announced that they have agreed to a common sense proposal to curb gun violence. Now, in a major development, 10 Republicans signed onto the bipartisan framework, which means any legislation based on its principles has a good chance of mustering 60 votes and overcoming a filibuster on the Senate floor. US President Joe Biden applauded the deal, which he said, and I quote, would be the most significant gun safety legislation to pass in Congress in decades, and pledged to sign it. Now, the 9-point bipartisan plan would send federal resources to set up red flag laws to keep guns out of the hands of people deemed dangerous to the community, invest billions of dollars in children and family mental health services, fund school-based mental health services, fund new safety measures at schools, strengthen criminal background check requirements for gun buyers younger than 21, and cracking down on illegal gun purchases. Just at a time when there is massive outrage and deliberations on gun laws in the United States, 2 people were killed and 4 others were wounded in a shooting at a nightclub in Chicago. With this, there will be at least 6 people who have been killed and another 20 have been injured in shootings across the city of Chicago so far this weekend. Now, there were reports of shots fired around 2 a.m. in Gary, southeast of Chicago. The deceased have been identified as a 34-year-old man and a 26-year-old woman. Both were declared dead after being taken to a local hospital. Now, 4 other people were also wounded, including one who was in critical condition, according to the police. Authorities did not release the victim's name or information about what may have led to the shooting. They said multiple law enforcement agencies responded due to a large crowd that needed to be evacuated and the large number of victims. And on to sports. Dhing Express Hima Das made her return to sport by winning a gold medal in the 100 meters women's event at the 61st National Interstate Athletics Championships held in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Well, Hima defeated Duty Chand in the final as she clocked 11.43 seconds, while Chand finished second at 11.44 seconds. Delighted with her win, Das also tweeted, and I quote, "Happy to make a comeback after an injury and hard work for nearly 2 years. Looking forward to give my best in the circuit in the upcoming events. Thank you everyone for your love and blessings." Unquote. Meanwhile, the Athletics Federation of India also tweeted, and I quote again, "The champion returns." Hima Das won gold medal with the performance of 11.43 seconds in the women 100 meters in 61st National Interstate Athletics Championships in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Unquote. Well, it needs to be mentioned here that recently Hima Das faced severe backlash for competing with an injured leg, going against her coach's advice. In the end, she ended injuring herself and missing some major tournaments of her career. And that does it for us here on Evening Prime. I'm Aaron Lingdo. News and updates continues.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.